Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jess and the Guest. I'm Jessica Hopkins, and today my guest is comedian Craig Conant. He's one of the funniest comics based out of LA and is touring all over the country right now. If you can, go see him. He's the best. He's performed at the Just for Laughs Festival and has one of the most successful podcasts that I personally love that, millions of other people love, called Community Service. When I think of Craig, I really just think joy, laughter, kindness. He's just the best. In this episode, we talk stand-up, having Bill Burr on his podcast, and truly the craziest story I've ever heard about this time that police raided his apartment, and so much more.
Oh, what about me now, huh? How about me now?
I like all the tech stuff in the background, too. You look so professional.
Oh, yeah. I'm an influencer. I have lights. Oh.
Okay, I'm going to ask the most serious question first. What is it like having the best hair in comedy?
Yes, it is. They're all thank you. It's pretty silky smooth. I get vain and worried. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to lose it. But I love long hair. I've had it for 18 years. And
oh my gosh.
There's a few of us out there. Lachlan Patterson, Amir K.
Yeah, they're great.
Steve Garza. I can't think of too many though. There's not, and even though we all have long hair, we all have our own thing too, which is interesting.
How are you surviving in LA right now?
Oh, it's a double-edged sword. It's like, for the first time in my life, I wish I wasn't from LA, and I was like, oh, I could go home, but I'm born and raised here, so there's no. I mean, I can move out of state. There's no rules, but I want to see my mama.
I know.
But everyone keeps moving to Texas and Tennessee and shit, and it's becoming more and more appealing.
Yeah.
Because they have comedy clubs, and you could eat food and breathe air, and the cases are low. Red Band did, Joe Rogan did, Ron White did. Tesla is moving there.
I know. I'm jealous of them moving, but I also don't think I could do it. I feel like they can do it.
Yeah, they're just at a place in their career where they can do that. Theo moved to Nashville, or is that I don't even know. I just see him there a lot on Instagram, so I assume that. I don't actually know that, but it's just like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. You live right near the beach too, right? Is that what
I did? I did,
and
that was a game changer. That saved my life. I don't know. I was in a studio apartment with no kitchen with my girl.
Oh my gosh.
A cat. And I don't know what I was thinking.
Did you not kill each other? Because like I was ready to kill myself when I was doing that.
We did. We killed each other. We're spirits now. You're talking to spirit. A studio apartment is all I knew. And then we went to the beach, and then we walked by this apartment, and it was totally fair, reasonably priced rent. And we were just like,
what?
Exactly. We're just like, what? I didn't know that is a thing.
Yeah.
And then we asked the dude, it was perfect. Because like, as we're looking in, the guy was like, want to see it? And we're like, yeah. I literally blacked out, and I was like, I'll take it. Like, I don't understand. It's like a beach bungalow. It's not like the Ritz-Carlton, but who gives a fuck? I'm on the ocean.
That sounds so nice. I'm so jealous.
Like, there's little awkward kitchen corners, where a cabinet door hits the oven. But once again, I can walk in the ocean in 2 minutes flat.
It just makes
from this seat to my ass wet. I don't know why I was gonna say naked. You wear trunks. Wet and naked. 2 minutes. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. You're just right there. Just right.
In the pandemic, did you do all those like window shows at the Comedy Store?
Yes, I've done them all.
How are those?
Well, here's the thing. Like, you don't want to just shit on it and bash it, because when it's all you have, when all you have is that window is the best thing on earth.
Yeah.
But of course, the window compared to a real live audience in a tiny shoebox, all sitting close together, drinking, laughing.
Yeah.
That's 50 million times better. Hope I never have to do one ever again. I tell you that much. But I could see, with the germaphobes and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah,
This world's crazy.
I know, but you've been handling it so well. Like, I'm like, how are you doing it? You're touring, you're doing all
But
these.
that's the thing. I like handle it well for one day. I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. Just you can only control your thoughts, your vibe, your mind, your business. You can't control the politics. You can't. And then the next day goes, and you're just like, I hate them all. Like they all suck.
I love your podcast too, community service. I feel like you ask all the guests such great questions.
You're so kind. I just use it. I don't think I ask great questions.
No, you were so good.
I just shoot the shit. I don't really like having I don't like I have to do this. I have to do the dating segment. I have to do the recap. I just want it to be whatever it is. Just like some of my favorite shows on earth and podcasts is just buddies talking shit. Like Bill Burr and Joe Rogan, they've known each other 25 years. They don't need subject matter, and comedians in cars getting coffee. The reason that's such a hit is they're just talking. Yeah. And I do appreciate, like some of the podcasts that put more work in the structure, some of the I do listen to some, motivational shit to try to stay motivated. Like Tim Ferriss.
I thought you were going to say Tim Dillon at first, and I was like, really?
Tim Dillon? I love Tim Dillon.
I know. Same, yeah. I was like, that's your motivational speaker?
Now, there's the guy that's got the wits and the smarts and the facts to just be like, just like machine gun at politician with facts. And they're just like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's so good. He makes me laugh and question everything, which I already was questioning everything.
Yeah.
But he's just smarter about it, and I think it's insane that you question stuff.
Yeah.
And you get shamed these days.
I know. What was it like having Bill Burr on your podcast? That's insane.
It was awesome. It was so cool. I was just nervous and giggling. He's the nicest dude ever. It was no thing. It was not. He called me like, "Hey, I'm ready. I texted you twice. What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it." No, there's a reason he is where he is.
Yeah.
Because on top of him bringing a brilliant stand-up, he's just a nice, cool dude.
Yeah.
Just no bullshit kind of guy. It's just and then the best, just one of the best stand-ups, period. What's shocking is you think everyone's going to be a huge fucking asshole and stand-up is most people are actually cool and chill and yes, for sure there's assholes, but they weed themselves out because it's such a community.
Yeah.
To where if you're a dick for too long, you get fucking banished, dude. You're banned. You're done. Yeah. Back to Bill Burr being the best. Yeah. He's been doing charity fundraisers for venues that are about to close. I know he did one for the Troubadour. I believe I heard him that he's going to do one for the Comedy Magic Club.
Oh my god.
Yet another reason. Yeah, he'll just do his podcast. He'll do live stream tickets, and all the money goes to saving the club.
God, it's incredible.
He's the best. I couldn't help but think, like, why doesn't Jay Leno just bail them out?
I know. Yeah.
That's his home club. He's there every Sunday for the last 30 years.
I know.
You got $200 million and you're about to die, Jay Leno. Give them the fucking money, dude. It's probably like
so true.
It's probably like, I'm absolutely guessing, but it's probably like $200,000.
Yeah.
Like rent back past due rent.
Yeah.
With no income, with no business. So they're just like, well, I sell my house to save the business and I don't even know if I could have the business, yeah. But back to Burr. That's why Burr's awesome and Leno sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although I've never met Leno. I'm sorry. I'm just talking. I'm mad at him because we comics started talking about it and we're like, yeah, why didn't he bail him out? He's so rich. And then we started talking about how he pushed out Conan, and I was a diehard Conan
I
fan. So
know.
of
I love
course,
Conan.
being Team Conan, I have this little chip on my shoulder towards
Yeah.
Leno. Hey, I'm sure he's a nice guy. Like if I were to ever work with him, it's just those two things. I'm just like, grr.
No, I totally agree. I feel like you can tell who's like a comic versus like, I don't know. I love Conan so much more than like,
Yeah,
sure,
he's lovable.
yeah, like,
And I've heard stories like you hear about Ellen, like David Letterman and Leno were really good friends, and then Leno did something shady to get the Tonight Show, and that's why Leno got the Tonight Show, and Letterman started the other show on Channel 2.
God,
Did you know about that?
yeah, it's
So he
crazy.
pushed out his friend, and then back in the day, everyone said Leno was like dark and edgy and was going to be the next best thing, and then he just went to like Doritos, and it's like you already got the TV show. Keep the dark shit coming, bro.
I feel like you can do such good like impressions and such voices. Could never
You
do.
would think like on the spot, I'm pretty decent at it, but then if you go, okay, be Irish, I freeze up and get nervous and go, oh, and I'm just, it's bad. So bad, it's funny though. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of live shows now. How are you preparing for them?
I get in my head a lot because my managers want to like shop my old shit around,
Mm-hmm.
my old material, and shop it around to tape and do an album special maybe, just
Yeah,
try to make shit happen,
yeah,
and but the pandemic happened,
yeah,
so now I'm like, it's not dated, it's still, it's about Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's still exists,
yeah,
but it just feels weird.
yeah,
And they're like, run that, get it ready, and we'll try to do something. And then I'm like, okay, but then the world shut down,
yeah.
and then I got new weird shit. It's really weird. I usually just do half and half, like half
Yeah.
old, half new.
Smart though. Yeah.
Yeah, I should be running my hour and just getting it as tight as possible for a possible shoot date.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way everything is, it's just like, everything gets rescheduled, everything gets postponed, everything gets canceled. Like,
Yeah.
I was set to record in April. So
Wow.
the pandemic happened in March. I was supposed
Yeah.
to record in April or May. Either way, it was, and here we are. Fucking.
The story that you told at the Moth, I know it was like 8 years ago, but it's such a great story. I love it so much. People should go on YouTube right now and watch it. But the story about you with the police, I think it won the Moth too, but with you and the police coming into your house, was that a real story? That can't be real, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that story's funny because I hadn't really started stand up then.
Really?
And I had got raided the night before, I believe. I was going to UCB and I was in a storytelling class.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, we're going to the Moth. You want to come with us? And I didn't even know what the Moth was.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a big deal. I didn't, and then I went with my homies and they're like, you put your name in a bucket, and if they pull your name, that you tell a story. And I did that. And then I was like, what's the subject? And they're like, duped. You've been duped. And I was like, I could kind of say that about my neighbor.
Yeah.
So what the story that's on the internet that went pretty viral, I was just so nervous. It killed, but I just forgot to like wrap it up and make it make sense, because I was like, yeah, it's adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because that was like maybe my fourth time on stage alone.
Yeah. That's insane. You had such confidence. I haven't seen.
That was alcohol and weed. That was weed and alcohol. I'm sober now and don't know how I did that, but
Yeah.
back then I wouldn't know how to do it sober.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tell the story. I got raided by the police and it's on the internet. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but bottom line, the cop that kicked in my door was pointing a shotgun at me.
Yeah.
And I just, this is the bit, but it's true. And I'm like, Chris? And he's like, Craig? And I was like, what? And this is my buddy I went to middle school with, little league, baseball, high school. I've known this fool since I was like, I don't need 10, 11, 9, 12. I don't know, young. My whole life.
Yeah.
My whole life I knew this fool. I was on his baseball teams. This fool became a cop and he raided. It was insane. It was both of us. His mind exploded. He was just like, what? What? And
Yeah. You didn't have contacts in too, or your glasses
oh
on?
yeah, I did. I wear contacts and glasses. I'm blind, and I it's in the story, in the bit. It's not even a bit though. It's just what happened. Anyways, the cops are going hands in the air, and I can't see, and I think it's my roommate Leo playing a prank on me. So I'm reaching for my glasses, like, who is this? And then they're like, hands in the air, motherfucker, and I'm just like, holy shit, because they were filling up my windows, yelling at me. And then they're like, go to the door, and then I went, and then there was Chris, and I was just like, what? And then I farted on the cops, on the police, questioned me in the alley, the drug sniffing dog. I forgot that in the Moth story. That's true. You could ask the cops, you could ask my roommates. I know it sounds insane, but I was so nervous and they were questioning me, and it was early, and I just farted. And my roommate Leo's looking at me like, what the fuck? And then I actually had UCB class with Grant Lyon, my good buddy that helped me spark that. He told me, go do stand-up. Brian Granger and Grant Lyon really pushed me, and Maddie Goff, into getting into so many people. But because I used to do improv first, I was scared of stand-up.
Yeah,
that's why I'm bringing up the old friends that helped push me, like, you should go over there.
Yeah.
And then wait, what was the point? Oh, so I had UCB later with Grant and Maddie and etc. And then and then I get the class, and I was like, yo, I just got raided. And they were just like, what? And then I farted in class, and I didn't even remember that until Grant told me, like recently, like 6 months ago. So yeah, you farted in class that day too. You told us that you farted on the cops, and then you farted in class, and the teacher was disgusted by you and stopped the class and was like, grow up. And I was like, oh. And then yeah, that was I swear to God, like, as I was handcuffed, because I've been to jail 3 times before this,
Yeah.
and bailed out, of course. My mama loves me, thank you, Mama. And then yeah, all I kept thinking was, like, I can't go to jail.
Yeah.
I have UCB class later. I just paid $700 fucking for this shit.
So much money.
I can't get locked up. I need to go be funny. I swear to God, that's all I was thinking. How do I get out of these handcuffs and go to UCB funny school to be funny? And there's more layers of that story. I was going to bring up some methamphetamines. I didn't.
Yeah.
But so in my brain, when all that was going down, I worked at Trader Joe's for 11 years, and we hired this new guy, and he was a knucklehead. He was a knucklehead. I'm training him because I was, there forever.
Mm-hmm.
We have lunch together. I was like, hey, let's smoke. He looks at me. He knows I smoke. I know he smokes.
Yeah.
I smoke a bowl. We're in my truck. I smoke a weed bowl. He busts out motherfucking pookie pipe, meth, speed, crack. I had actually never done that at that time in my life. I'd sniffed it and shit, but like, that's next level. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go there. And then, everything in my body said, don't do that. And then he goes, you want to hit? And I said, yeah. And then I hit it. And then we made work real good. I'm just saying, everything's interesting. I was fucking slanging milks, just bad drug. Good for energy. Let me just tell you that. And then, so I say all that because I really, even though I had dark drug behavior, that was a long time ago. And at that time, when this was going down, I was kind of getting out of that world. Was just a stoner.
Yeah.
And getting out of the narcotic world of addiction.
Yeah.
And then so I had just done that with him, and he was a shifty character. And then I get raided, and I'm just like, all I can like
Yeah.
in my head, I'm like, damn, these cops are good. Like I smoked meth one time because I was like, I don't even sell fireworks anymore. I still have some, and I'm on probation for fireworks. So you start thinking of all the shit. Like I got switchblades, fireworks, mushrooms, weed, you know, the basics. And then I was like, it can't be for that. Like I'm not Pablo Escobar. Yeah, I sell weed, but like an eighth to my buddy is
Yeah.
fucking the the fucking cop's badge is worth more than the money I make. You know what I mean? It doesn't make.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, well, it can't be weed and mushrooms. Like I haven't. That's just personal stash. I
Yeah.
haven't. And so you just start going through the crimes in your head. You're like, well, maybe it was the meth at TJ's.
That's like
I
so
was like,
much.
wow, they're good.
It's like a
All I was
roller
thinking.
coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because you're just like, yeah, I do crime, but like this much, you
Yeah.
know?
It's LA, you know.
Yeah, like in LA, like I'm a fucking scholar, dude.
I know.
Like it's like go east or where, you know, like go raid a drug lord. I'm fucking got a quarter pound of weed. Get off my back.
And
Anyways, yeah, that all happened. It was my buddy.
God.
I ran into him later,
Yeah.
and then I brought it up just like this. I was like, oh my God, remember when you raided me? And it was just funny. You know, I was doing that on purpose. He's like, yeah, dude. And he told me that the precinct talked about me for like a month. And he said they're like, remember that retarded hippie that farted on us? And I was like, oh, that's so funny. That's me. And he said they talk, you know, because they got, you can imagine, like, remember when I forgot the whole goddamn, to make it all make sense. So duped, back to the Moth story. So I lived in Culver City in a back house,
Yeah.
and my neighbor lived in the front house.
Mhm.
It was a landlord that just split the house in half, put a fence up, separate homes, families, residents, mailboxes, everything. And so they were raiding him. But because I lived in the back property, they raided me by default because it was just they're raiding the property. They don't know I'm not related to him in any way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
And then yeah, he was selling like, I don't know, guns or drugs or meth. He was two strikes though. They were trying to strike him out and send him to prison for the rest of his life. And they had helicopter. I mean, like this was a raid. I don't know how to. There was like 30 cops,
Oh my.
helicopter. They had everything. Just they raided two houses that day. They raided his mother's house across the street. They
God.
found nothing, and he stayed a free man.
Whoa.
So King Mike is good at his job. And I used to steal
Insane.
his Wi-Fi and get weed off him. And in my act, I like do jokes like, yeah, I used to get his Wi-Fi. His name was King Mike. I have his password. It's Thug123. You know, just silly shit like that. But other than that, it's like 99% true.
That is so crazy. You have the best stories I've ever heard too.
Drugs.
Wait, is your family funny? I love the episode you did with your mom and your sisters. It was so
Yeah,
good. They
they're
just
all funny. It's a wild ass Mexican family that fart and party. Not even party, some don't. You know, it's just a wild, fun family.
yeah, it's the best. That's the best.
And then my white side is very sarcastic and dry, and like they're funny too. It's thank God.
Yeah. How was being on tour with Michael Yo?
Oh yeah, I love him. He's another nicest dude ever. Just
Yeah.
always. I met him once, and I had a good set, and he's been giving me shows and spots and money, or not money, uh, gigs. He's been giving me gigs since the day I've met him.
Wow.
Gigs, which is money. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so he's taken me all over, and yeah, he's the best. Nice dude, family man, just the coolest, nicest dude. My voice is real. I do growl and it gets a little lower when I'm nervous
Yeah.
or on stage. I don't even really do it on purpose. It just kind of happens. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's adrenaline or what. But I'll do it in real life too, to
Yeah.
where my girl will be like, "Why are you growling at me?" I'm like, "This is how I talk." No, yeah, it's not like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I actually get pissed sometimes when people are like, "This guy is putting it on," and then they don't know me, but anyone that grew up with me, if they know, they're like, "No, he's dialing it back. Like, what do you? He can't even tell you all the shit that happened. Like, it's. Anyways, you got to water it down, or you go to jail.
And are you really into dodgeball, or is this a?
Oh my God, yes.
So many people were like,
Don't
Craig is
bring
one of.
that up. It's so sad.
Oh no.
No, it's canceled. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love. It's the only thing I love as much as stand up.
Wow. Do you
And I,
practice at all, or is it like?
mhm. I mean, it's just like basketball. There's pickup games,
Yeah.
leagues,
Wow.
tournaments. Just like any
Yeah.
rec league sport. Except some of these guys are ex athletes that
God.
they're throwing rubber balls at your face at like 87 miles per hour. It's so fun. Just broken fingers, bloody noses. It's fantastic. It's so good. But I like playing in the elite leagues of like, there's
Ooh,
different, just like softball, there's ex baseball players that hit it 600 feet. And
yeah.
then there's the co-ed rec league that everyone's drinking beer at.
Yeah.
In dodgeball, it's the same. I like I like to get killed by people that are better than me.
Wow. Yeah.
It's so fun. I love it. They'll just. I'm pretty good though. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
But there's some people who are just like, what? What are you, a cyborg? Like what are you? Uh, but yeah, I love the challenge of that and the whole. I haven't talked about it in a while because I just haven't
Yeah.
played since the pandemic. And then it's like I've said this before, but I'll say it again, and I mean it. It's like a chaotic zen
Wow.
because there's 20, it's like 15 on 15 or 20 on 20, 7 balls on the court. Everyone's trying to kill each other. So you cannot think about your problems. You cannot think about the election, your career, your girl, your man, your this, your that. And if you do, you get hit in the face with the ball. It's the ultimate uh, just forcing of in the moment, because you just have to be,
Yeah.
or you're going to get hit in the face. So you're just and then when you catch someone's ball when they throw it at you as hard as they can, and you're just like, you're a little bitch. Oh, it feels so good. And I love talking shit,
Yeah.
but like in a fun way. Like I hate the aggro. Some people
Oh yeah.
actually get angry, and I'm like, yo, we're 30 somethings throwing balls at each other. Stop it. But I love like laughing, like but I'll also like I'll laugh at myself getting hit in the face. It's
Yeah.
not, it's
One of the
fun.
best jokes. So in your podcast, you have like a salt lamp and you like crystals. I'm from Philly. I don't get any of this stuff. What is it? I don't get it. Something
I'm
like
just a weird hippie that loves that shit. I also date a weird hippie girl that loves that shit even
yeah.
more.
No, I
So
got to LA and
it's a combo.
everyone's obsessed with the and I'm like, I'm from Philly originally and then was living in New York doing comedy. I'm like, what is this? What are these hikes and
All
nature
right.
and
Don't get
happy
me
people?
started. So here's the thing. I've been attracted to them since I was a little kid. I remember being like first or second grade. They had the rock and geode. I can't even say the word
I,
geode. I don't know.
sounds right. Yeah.
I call them rocks.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that's amethyst. That's this. I'm like, that's a fucking pretty ass rock.
I know. I know. Yeah.
But that it doesn't matter your level of understanding or belief in them. My whole shit of why I'm so attracted to them, even
Mhm.
because as a little kid, when I learned, as a little, what first I was like 7.
Yeah.
The guy was such a geek about the geologist or whatever. He's
Yeah.
like, this was sand, this was dirt, this was powder. You know what I mean? Pressurized over millions of years and formed this gorgeous fucking crystal.
Wow.
This little
Oh, look.
pyramid.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That
got them everywhere. And then that like what and then like I just liked them young because they're pretty and shiny. But then you think about that later, you're like, oh wait, like this little weird blue rock
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
was
So pretty.
fucking dirt. It was dirt that, like a caterpillar changes into a butterfly.
Yeah.
Some hippie stuff like it's enlightened. It went through its I don't know, metamorphosis, I guess. I don't know the technical words to call it. So I'm attracted to the change of the process of the rock. Like that's why I'm like, whoa, this shit's purple and beautiful, and it was mud. It was fucking mud. But then of course, once I started getting into them, people were like, oh, you should have this crystal book. It'll explain to you like, oh, this is good for addiction. This is good for this. This is good for that. Now, yes, I still believe in that to a certain degree, but I don't think like I'm gonna get this crystal and then I'm not an addict. Like, don't fucking fool yourself. Don't be an idiot. But yeah, it's just like good vibes,
Yeah.
And it's just like, even though I have so many crystals and rocks and shit, I still don't know the names of almost all of them. And they're like, it doesn't matter. They're dope. I love them. They're cool. It's shiny. If it brings you peace and joy, who cares?
Yeah. No.
And on top of that, they fucking went through a metamorphosis, and that's insane to me. That's so cool. Like,
oh my God.
Come on. Like, what if this just computer changed into a car? Like, that's what's happening here. It blows my mind. I know that's different, but really, it was dirt, and now it's a fucking cute little diamond.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Like, we'll hang out in the clubs and do stand-up.